I am going to start this video with a rule that you should apply to your entire life. Never ever take financial advice from someone who hasn't gotten there yet. And let me be perfectly clear, I have not gotten there yet. I'm not a millionaire. I still trade my hours for money in a corporate job. So, do not look at this video as a financial advice of a guru. Far from that shit. Look at this as an insight from a man who is ferociously fighting the trenches of the albedo, who has studied the architecture of the peak, and who is visualizing a path that, for me, actually makes sense. And for what it's worth, as I normally say here in the videos, do not take as serious anything I say here. I'm just an idiot from a third world country with a camera and a microphone. That said, let's go to the video. Subscribe and keep walking. Today is the part 3 of the Citrinitas map. We are going to look into the absolute darkest corners of the market. We are going to talk about why chasing happiness is sucking your soul and how to weaponize the Nanatsu no Taizai, or the 7 deadly sins. Who's got the reference? And why accepting your own insignificance is the ultimate freedom. Let's diagnose the sickness first. Most people are trapped in a state of spiritual autophagy. Autophagy is when a body starts eating its own cells to survive. Spiritually, this happens when you make finding happiness your primary goal in life. So, you wake up, and if you don't feel motivated or if you don't feel happy, you think something is fundamentally broken. You become a spiritual vampire because you cannot control. You start sucking the vitality out of people around you with your melancholy. But here is the alchemical cure for modern depression. Embrace and accept your absolute total insignificance. We live in a culture that forces you to believe you are the main character of a dramatic epic. You aren't. Your problems on a macro scale are entirely irrelevant. And the moment you accept your smallness, the moment you take the spotlight off your own ego, a massive crushing weight is lifted off your shoulders. You cure the melancholy by not chasing a dopamine hit of happiness, but by becoming useful. You build an asset, you build whatever you want to build, that's good. You build a legacy that survives the enthusiasm of the moment. If your goal is to be useful and to build that asset, you have to understand the playing field. And the playing field is driven by the human shadow. If you want to build wealth, you have to master commercial intelligence. And the foundation of commercial intelligence is understanding why human beings consume. Historically, the desires of the human ego have been mapped out perfectly. We call them the 7 deadly sins. If you understand the shadow, you understand the market. Sloth. People want the shortcut. If your service saves them time or does the hard work for them, they will pay you anything. Gluttony. It's not just about food, it's about immediate emotional relief, selling the feeling that a problem is solved. Lust and pride. People buy luxury cars and expensive watches not to tell time, but to sub-communicate to the tribe that they are potent, virile, and superior. These are just a few examples, but understanding these mechanisms is not about being a malicious manipulator. It is about translating your solution into the exact primal language the human brain is already programmed to hear. And this brings us to the most controversial part of the map. If you grew up in a third world country or in the middle class, you probably view luxury as either a stupid, empty fetish or something evil that corrupts the soul. But there is a third alchemical path: weaponizing luxury to cheat your own mind. The biggest obstacle between you and the Citrinitas is not a lack of money. It's your subconscious feeling of unworthiness. It is the voice in your head that says, I don't belong here. You don't need to be a millionaire to taste it. I will give some examples here. Don't take them literally, but think of them as how can you increment them to your own reality. So here it goes. Renting a luxury car for one weekend. Go sit in the lobby of a 5-star hotel and order an overpriced coffee. This is something that I actually am doing, and amazing things happen oftentimes. For example, I used to, well, when I would go to a restaurant, I would book a table just for myself, and I would sit there alone and I would have my dinner. When I started, instead of going to book a table, going to the counter of the restaurant where normally there is the bar and people are like drinking or eating something there, like an appetizer or something, and folk would just see me there alone, they would strike up conversation, and I started making friends and building network through that. So that's the thing I'm talking about here. Why? Because when you place your physical body in an environment of absolute order, cleanliness, and power, you force your mind to familiarize itself with abundance. You create a psychological barrier of non-regression. Once your mind tastes that level of dignity, it will instinctively fight ferociously to never go backward. So this is my map, and it's been working for me. You drop the arrogance of thinking you are the center of the universe. You study the dark psychology of the human shadow to understand the market. And you force your mind to accept that you are worthy of the peak. I am not at the top yet, but I refuse to stay at the bottom, obeying a system designed to keep me quiet. I am going to keep climbing with all my insignificance. I will say that again. I am going to keep climbing, aware of my insignificance. Honestly, what have we got to lose? Therefore, I invite you to do the same. If you like this video, there's a link in the description for some art so you can support the channel. Thank you And keep walking with me, friend. El Psy Conguru.